Chapter 12 of the Centaur by Algernon Blackwood. This Librivox recording is in the public domain. Read by Yoganand. The Centaur, Chapter 12. In the stateroom he found without surprise somehow that his new companions had already retired for the night. The curtain of the upper berth was drawn, and on the sofa bed below the open porthole the boy already slept. Standing a moment in the little room with these two close, he felt that he had come into a new existence almost. Deep within him, this sense of new life thrilled and glowed. He was shaking a little all over, not with a mere tremor of excitement, however, but with the tide of a vast and rising exultation he could scarcely contain. For his normal self was too small to hold it. It demanded expansion, and the expansion it claimed had already begun. The boundaries of his personality were enormously extending. In words, this change escaped him wholly. He only knew that something in him of an old unrest lay down at length and slept. Less acute grow those pangs of starvation his life had ever felt, the ache of that inappeasable hunger for the beauty and innocence of some primal state before thick human crowds had stained the world with all their strife and clamor. The glory of it burned white within him, and the way he described it to himself was significant of its true nature, for it wants the analogy of childhood. The passion of a boy's longing swept over him. He knew again the feelings of those early days when a boy's will is a wind's will, and the thoughts of youth are long, long thoughts, when all the world smells sweet and golden as a summer's day, and a village street is endless as the sky. This it was, raised to its highest power, that dropped a hint of explanation into the queer heart of his, wherein had ever burned the strange desire for primitive existence. It was a call, though not of his own youth alone, but of the youth of the world. A mood of the earth's consciousness, some giant expression of a cosmic emotion, caught him, and it was the big Russian who acted as channel and interpreter. Before getting to bed, he drew aside the little red curtain that screened his companion and peered cautiously through the narrow slit. The big occupant of the bunk also slept, his mane-like hair spreading about him over the pillow, and on his great placid face a look of peace that seemed to deepen with every day the steamer neared her destination. O'Malley gazed for a full minute and more. Then the sleeper felt the gaze, for suddenly the eyelids quivered, moved, and lifted. The large brown eyes peered straight into his own. The Irishman, unable to turn away in time, stood fixed and staring in return. The gentleness and power of the look passed straight down into his heart, filled him to the brim with things their owner knew, and confirmed that appeasement of his own hunger already begun. "I tried to prevent the interference," he stammered in a low voice. "I held him back. You saw me?" A huge hand stretched forth from the bunk to stop him. Impulsively he seized it with both his own. At the first contact he started, a little frightened. It felt so wonderful, so mighty. Thus might a gust of wind or a billow of sea have thrust against him. "A messenger came," said the man with that laborious, slow utterance and deep as thunder. "From the sea." "From the sea, yes," repeated O'Malley beneath his breath, yet conscious rather that he wanted to shout and sing it. He saw the big man smile. His own small hands were crushed in the grasp of power. "I understand," he added in a whisper. He found himself speaking with a similar clogged utterance. Somehow it seemed the language they ought to have used was either forgotten or unborn. Yet, whereas his friend was inarticulate perhaps, he himself was dumb. These little modern words were all wrong and inadequate. Modern speech could only deal with modern smaller things. The giant half rose in his bed, as though at first to leap forward and away from him. He tightened an instant the grasp upon his companion's hands, then suddenly released them and pointed across the cabin. That smile of happiness spread upon his face. O'Malley turned. There the boy lay, deeply slumbering, the clothes flung back so that the air from the porthole played over the bare neck and chest. Upon his face, too, shone the look of peace and rest his father wore, the hunted expression all gone, as though the spirit had escaped in sleep. The parent pointed first to the boy, then to himself, then to this new friend standing beside his bed. The gesture, including the three of them, was of singular authority. Invitation, welcome, and command lay in it. More, in some incomprehensible way, it was majestic. O'Malley's thought flashed upon him the limb of some great oak tree swaying in the wind. Next, placing a finger on his lips, his eyes once more swept O'Malley and the boy, and he turned again into the little bunk that so difficultly held him and lay back. The hair flowed down and mingled with the beard over pillow and neck almost to the shoulders, and something that was enormous and magnificent lay back with him, carrying with it again the sudden atmosphere of greater bulk. With a deep sound in his throat that was certainly no actual word, and yet more expressive than any speech, he turned hugely over among the little scanty sheets, drew the curtain again before his face, and returned into the world of sleep. The end of chapter 12.